All right, today's hanging and handstand workout is beginning with some callus shaving, because if you look at my hand there, you can see my calluses have really built up. So I'll remove one or two because I hadn't seen these things before. And if you look at how good it works, I only got onto these just last year. Look at that. It's just come right off. Look at that. It's unreal. And this one, this blade I've even had for a while. They're really cheap. It was only like, I don't know, 10 or 15 bucks or something. And it's a complete game changer. I'll put a link in the description of the video if you want to get one. But I won't waste your time with me doing all of them. I'll do one whole hand now and then I'll compare the two for you. So check this out. That's what came off one hand. And now I'll show you the difference. So that's the hand that I just did, and now compare it to that hand. Have a look at the differences. Look at the calluses there versus on that hand where it's all nice and clean. I hope you can see that. Huge difference. If you get terrible calluses on your hand like I used to, get one of those things. They're so good. They've completely changed my life with training. I honestly mean that. You don't even want to know what I used to have to do to get rid of my calluses, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I used to chew them off in the shower when my hands were clean, because they just build up and they get to a point where they tear off, and that's, horrible. You can't train properly for a couple of weeks, and people would tell me, oh, use a pumice stone or just get a razor, but it was all too fiddly. And that thing's awesome. It just does it so quickly. So now I don't have calluses on my hands. I can go for it in my workout today. All right, I'm doing glute flexibility here. So what I do first, I do an end range antagonist contraction. So 10 seconds, lifting that foot as hard as I can, contracting the external rotators as hard as I can at their end range to shut down some of the sensory neurons that prevent restriction, and then straight into some loaded stretching. So elevated loaded pigeon. So my glutes are really tight. This is a tight position for me relative to the rest of my body. So that's why I'm doing an elevated pigeon and not on the ground. But doing that end range contraction first for even just 10 seconds and then straight into a loaded stretch produces significantly better results than just trying to do a stretch. I'll turn this around so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I've 0.15, yeah. Okay, so I've worked up to this. When I started, I had to do it at 60 degrees. Now I'm at 45, which is good. And this keeps me honest. End range contractions only work if you're at your end range and you're working really, really hard. And then so a 10-second end range contraction, and then I do 8 to 10 reps of this. And I'm doing this angle like this because if you go too hard with external rotation and you start feeling it in your knee, that's really bad. You should feel it in your glute. And so if you don't feel it in your glute, you need to elevate like this. Okay, now onto my single arm hang transitions. It's a bad rep because I'm swinging. So when you do these, you really want to not be swinging at all. Man, there's so many mozzies around here. When I started this, I could barely do 3-second holds on each side and then accumulated like a total set of maybe 1 minute max. So I've come a long way. I'm already at 2 minutes 20. I'm doing roughly 10 seconds per arm. That's what you want with your training. You want objective progress. And that is a PB. It's got 3 minutes 30, first time. So I just did my second set of my glute stretches, and now I'm on to my third and final set of hanging. Might move this down for this one. Somewhere I used to go really wrong with my active passive hanging, and where I think a lot of people go wrong is rushing it, like, trying to get up fast and then drop. It's all about feeling the transition, like a 1-0 or a 1-1-3-1 tempo. So 1 second down, 1 second pause, 1 second up, 3 second pause, not just rip it up as fast as you can. And of course, you've got to start with two hands. You've got to get good at two hands first. They are so hard to do on your feet if you're strict and honest with your technique. You've got to keep your elbows straight, protract the shoulder blades, thumbs off the ground. And then I lost count because I was talking. But there's so much weight that goes on your hands when you do handstands. Obviously, we got to make the hands and the wrists really strong because they're not designed to hold your body weight. Okay. Man, these mozzies. So, I'm doing free handstands today. So I'm not using the wall for all my sets, just a warm-up set. So, that's my warm-up set. Get off me. So I rest 2.5 minutes, and then I do a full set. And what I do like to do a bit of, as always, just to make use of the time, a little bit of active recovery. So just a gentle get into the position. So definitely haven't been consistent with handstand training because for me, when I started calisthenics, so I'm 45 now. When I started calisthenics, I think I was 36, maybe 37. And I had no upper body strength. I was a martial artist. I'd trained Kung Fu for my whole life. So my lower body strength was good. But my upper body strength was terrible. And all of a sudden I'm, learning how to do handstands and everyone's talking about you've got to do it 6 days a week, 5 sets, all this and that. And one of the 2 slap tears I got was from a handstand, just doing a face-to-wall handstand. So having 2 slap tears in my shoulders was a very, very clear indicator that I wasn't strong enough for all the calisthenics that I was doing. And so I've spent the last 4 years rebuilding myself, which I think a lot of people need to do, but avoid because it's hard, You want to just stay so focused and driven on what it is that you want to achieve that you don't work on what you need to do to get there. So this year, I'm really going to try and be consistent with my handstand training and really nail it. Get that elusive 1 minute. My goal is to get an accumulated total of 2 minutes hold time with a goal of 4 sets of 30 seconds. But it's the idea that you get 2 minutes no matter what, and only a 5-second hold counts. So when I kick up and I go back down, if I got 3 seconds, that doesn't count. Because my strength is increasing and my endurance is increasing, what I was doing last year, a couple of months ago, you know, if I got 7 seconds, then I'd stop and I'd record 7 seconds, wait 2.5 minutes, go again. But my endurance is increasing, my threshold's increasing. So what I do is I just keep kicking up until I get 30 seconds. Sometimes I get it, sometimes like then. I think I got 5 seconds, then 7, then 12, then 8 or whatever it was, you know, with just a little 5-second break between each one to get my accumulated total of 30 seconds. And a big part of that is really for efficiency as well, just to get that 2 minutes done as quickly as I can, and then I can move on to my locomotion and flow, which I'm not doing today because I'm doing my minimum afternoon workout. I've got to get upstairs and parent soon. But it's a very nice afternoon to be training. It's a really nice little rain going on, a gentle rain. Very peaceful, except for these mozzies. I think a huge mistake people make with handstand practice is just constantly chasing the, the freestanding handstand and not getting enough volume. So you can see, like, for me, there's this point where, once I've had 5 attempts, if I'm not getting a good hold, at that point I'm really starting to get fatigued, and it's very unlikely I'm going to get a good hold from there. So to get some volume, I just use the wall and use it as little as possible, but just there to help get me up, balanced, and then try and bring my feet together, see if I can get another 5 or 8 seconds so that I get that volume in. Instead of just, you're just kicking up, and you completely fatigue yourself. You've got to wait 2.5 minutes before you can do another set, and you didn't do anything that contributed to you getting better at the handstand. You didn't get any hold time, any volume. It'd be like, trying to lift dumbbells that are too heavy for you and just going like this for a whole set. It's just doing nothing, Got to drop the weight and do some good reps. So if that's you, make use of the wall. And the first stage is to be able to do, at least 5 sets of 30-second hold, for all 5 sets in all of your workouts before you start doing freestanding handstands. So that was good. That was a good set. Of course, my line needs work, but you know, it's okay. One more round like that and I've got my 2 minutes. And you know, it's all about consistency and frequency with handstands. So every hand balancing coach that I've ever worked with, they all prescribe handstands 6 days a week. They all prescribe 5 sets. Some of them do it a little bit differently. And you know, that's a lot of volume on your wrists, elbows, shoulders, your neck. You really have to condition yourself up for that. So there's a real process of getting to where I am now to be able to even do this stuff that I think people you don't see that, right? Like when you look at people on Instagram and on social media, you see the end result, but you don't see the work that's gone in to it. And for every person that I know that's good at handstands, I know 100 that just keep facing injury after injury. They just can't get better. So hopefully, you know, when you guys watch my videos this year, as I film each of my workouts every day, it's my intention to show the process, not just the end result, you know, the process of unlocking some of the more impressive calisthenics skills. Clearly I'm not getting any awards for that last set, but I'll take it because this has to be a bit of a shorter workout. Normally I'd do another set to try and at least just get one more 10 or 15 second hold before I finish, but I've got limited time today. So that's a good workout to get done for limited time.